Welcome to the unveiling of untold history documentaries, mastering classes in business management, and sparking insights through money dialogues. This is JephKafka TV.
As has been the habit for these classes, is we are trying to transform everyone to become a business owner. So at the end of it all, at the end of whatever many lessons that we shall have, the measure of the success rate of these classes will be if we'll have been able to start and run successful businesses, so that we can move from that level of looking at things, whether they are cheap or expensive, to us being to afford everything. So today, I want us to look at how we can start a business. We've already talked about starting a consultancy business before. So today I want us to look at, in minding our own business, how we can start that business, and also how we can build the same business. So these are two different things. That when you're talking about start, we are talking about a business that you operate. Because remember, in the instance where we had a bucket here of someone earning 100,000, it's not just in employment, but also in the simple businesses that we start. You have to exchange your time, your energy to be able to make that amount of money in business. So starting a business is a business you go to, you have to exchange your time and energy, and we're just using these acronyms to help us understand this better, so that now when we're talking about build, then we're talking about a business that is run by systems. This is where you as a person or as an owner detach yourself from the operations, the day-to-day runnings, the decision making, and you let the systems do the running of the business. Now, to be able to understand this, every one of these letters means something. Like when we're talking about S, it means before we start a business or we start running the business, we have to search for the business that you want to do. In most cases, people say we search for the business idea. But in our case, we'll make it a little different, a little more interesting. And the T in our case here means you have to train. Most of us have ideas, we jump into the operations, and then we realize, well, this was not a good idea to start doing it before I learned. So we train. I didn't have an English word to match what I wanted to teach under A, but Anza will work for us. Anza means begin, start. So meaning, before you actually start a business, you have to go through two steps: the searching, the training, then you start. Then, as you go on with your business, you have to review. Everything that you do has, or rather those people who do project management, they know there is something we call monitoring and evaluation. That you have started, yes, but how is it going? What changes should I make? Where should I go back to, etc. And finally, we have takeoff. There's a saying, I don't know whether it's a proverb or just a saying, that everything that goes up must. But is it true? If we start a business, it goes up, then one day it must come down. It depends. Because of gravity.
The saying is applicable to some, it is not applicable to others.
But it's in form of gravity, that if you throw an object up, it will come down, right? But how comes rockets are able to go up and up and up.
But they will definitely come back one day.
But they don't come back because of the saying or the gravity.
Yes.
Yeah. It's because of something called escape velocity. That if something, an object, moves at a certain speed through space, it will be able to overcome gravity. So it will continue going up. So in our case here, takeoff actually means that we have reached the escape velocity of the things that cause businesses to do what? To fail. So after that, we shall come to build, but for now, we are going to learn about start. Now, I also made another board here. I don't know whether you can show it. When we'll be learning about minding our own business, starting the business that we are starting, we'll be asking ourselves some questions, like if we have searched for the idea that we want to work on, the business idea that we want to move on within our business, have we succeeded in getting a good idea? If yes, then it means we go to the next level, which is training. If no, then it means we go back to searching for an idea. The same way when we go to training, have we completed the training that is required for us to be able to start that business? If yes, then we move on to starting. If no, we either go back to searching for a better idea or to training. The same way when we go to start. So remember now, starting or the Anza comes as the third step. There is time between having the idea and making the idea a business. So again, you check whether whatever you've started has succeeded. If no, you go back to the steps that you're supposed to go back to. And then there is review before takeoff. And at this point, I should let you know that in review, that is when we shall realize that there are some, what we call dark days in business. Dark days in business management or in running a business, such that you will start a business and you'll be very tired that you might end up doing what? Giving up. So let's concentrate on this for today. Let me ask you a question. What determines what kind of business you're going to start? How do you come up with the idea? Like, let me ask, which business, or at the top of your mind, if I ask everyone from you, S.T.A.R.T, what business would you like to start? Farming, yes. Which business?
Let's say a garage.
A garage?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome to class. And what business would you want to start?
Fast foods.
Fast foods. Stanley, what business would you like to start?
A studio.
A studio. Jeremiah?
Film business.
So studio also. Alpha?
That is different.
At yours is, you said?
Film.
Film. Alpha.
Production company.
Production. Now, the next question that I want to ask you, why are you starting this? One, you tell me whether it's because of passion, it's something you like, or there's a problem you're solving. So we start with farming. Is it because of passion, or what problem are you solving? Passion means ni kitu unapenda, kitu iko ndani yako. So why are you starting the farming business? So if both, what problem are you solving?
Providing food.
The problem of hunger, okay. Garage, is it a passion or is there a problem you're solving?
It's both.
So, which is more, passion or problem?
Solving the problem, of course.
Which problem?
If I had many guys, they have parked their cars. There are no mechanics for those types of cars.
So, so there is a specific type of cars. Okay.
Yes.
And fast foods?
Problem.
Which problem?
Maybe in colleges, you find that there are no school canteens and they're supposed to stay up to 5 p.m.
Okay. Studio, passion, or problem?
One is passion, but also studio. Problem because I think say unaona vile content inagrow sana, some people don't really have a space whereby they can so creating space for growing content creators.
Film?
Passion.
Passion. Production? Passion. Good. Now, how many farmers are there in Kenya? So many, isn't it? Especially in the villages. Yeah?
Yes.
And especially in the villages, how many farmers are millionaires?
Very few.
Small scale farming, how many are millionaires?
If they are small scale farmers, then it is not millionaires.
So meaning, because we are looking at wealth, so the chances of this one making you a millionaire is very small, right? Garage. I want us to look at it that way. Like you're doing it because of passion, you're solving a specific problem, then we go to reality. How many garages are there? Yeah?
There are many.
So does it mean opening your garage will just add to the number of garages that are there?
Yes.
They are large, but
and you'll only increase the competition. But okay, now the question, the measure. What is the likelihood that whatever you're doing will make you a millionaire? Medium.
Because of referral.
It is supposed to be up there.
Anza.
You say.
Yeah? Fast foods. Again, reality. Every street corner has a chips and sausage fast food, right? What is the possibility that will change you from a thousandaire to a millionaire?
Small.
Very small, yeah? Studio. You said it's for passion and space.
That one can be medium.
Medium. Film.
That one has, the competition is very low.
Very low. But you're saying the competition is very low. But let's look at it this way. When I come to pay you as a client, I don't pay you because of your passion, but because of my benefit.
From the types of films that I want to do, I'm solving a problem of...
Now you're moving here.
Yes, illiteracy.
So you're moving here.
Yes. Problem solving. It is passion, but I'm also solving a problem. Because I want to educate people through that thing.
So meaning that my benefit as a client, so I can pay you, we have agreed, is not your passion.
Yes.
But what I'm benefiting.
Yes.
Production. Okay, what is the likelihood it will make you a millionaire?
High. I tell you, high.
But these people are illiterate. So if you're going to educate them before I educate you to start this business and grow, so that I can be able now to have the money to buy. So let's be realistic. This is media. Production. Again, here you've already missed a point, because again, you're telling me to pay you for something you like, but not for something I'm benefiting from.
Okay, as me, I feel like as much as passion, okay, as much as my business is not directly solving a problem, or like, for example, like when I say passion, I'm actually solving a problem by me, okay, you know, doing something that you like becomes an easy thing to solve other things. It's like that fuel you need each and every single time.
But I like gardening, planting flowers around the house. I've never earned a shilling from it.
No, those two comparisons cannot be the same. I'm saying this in the sense here, like when you see, when it comes to production, you cannot compare it to something like gardening per se, because number one, you need to, like for example, you need to have that zeal.
A problem that you're solving. The zeal is the passion. You love it so much. You can spend 10 straight hours on your computer doing production. But as long as there's no one paying you, then it means you'll be doing it as a hobby. And for me to pay you, I have to get a benefit. And my benefit is a problem that I have that you're solving. So the question is, for us to have a good idea, so the point I'm trying to put across is that passion is not enough. So I want us to think now this way, that when we are searching for an idea, we change it to searching for a problem with many people, and we should add, don't know whether the spelling is correctly, repeatedly. That what business shall I start? It's a business where I am solving a problem, and I'm solving it for many people, and I'm doing it repeatedly. Actually, passion should be second to problem. That if there is a problem to be solved and I don't have passion for that thing, I'll still do that and earn the money. Then when I have the money, I can go and do my hobbies later with the money. Because you know, when you're doing a hobby, you have the source to finance it, isn't it?
But may I ask a question?
Yes, please.
In the sense of, let's say, for example, that maybe that field of production is
competitive.
Is very competitive.
Yes.
I feel like passion makes set me off from the rest. Number one, if at all we're solving a problem that the others are doing the same, what will set me apart from them?
Is the problem, the specific problem that you're solving for more people. Because I want us to also relate something here. We said in our previous classes that value or the income equals to, we give it a mathematical formula, how much someone is paying you and how many people you're solving that problem for. Because if you have a very good way of making videos and only one person likes it, and you charge them 100,000, so it means for the foreseeable future your only income is that 100,000. But how do you make 1,000 people like your production or film or studio? Because for one person, there's that one person who has money and wants, he'll take you to a beautiful site, cater with their money, just to be taken nice photographs and videos for Instagram, isn't it? Or that one influencer who needs good pictures, right? But will you get 1,000 people like me who will want that kind of service if you're not solving a problem that 1,000 people have? Because the models and the influencers, they are few, isn't it? You can't tell me you're basing your whole production company to solve problems for models and influencers only. Already there's competition there. Remember, this class is supposed to also change the way of thinking and look at it differently. Because what we have here is a situation we would call high value and low quantity. You solving a high value problem, but you only have one person you're solving it for. So as much as you are charging a lot of money, it's not going to make you a millionaire, isn't it? The same way we go to the fast foods. Every corner, every street, even in the estates, there is a restaurant. Why are they not millionaires? Because most of them, one, they are doing it for passion. Ati mimi napenda kupika. You know, so you go and that becomes someone's reason to go and start a business. Mimi napenda kupika, isn't it? That is my passion. And we also have this issue or problem of motivational speakers. Follow your passion. Kenye roho yako inataka, follow that, you know. Yeah. But now you've started the fast food business, and right next to you there's another fast food joint. You know what happens? What happens is, in that kind of case, you are all competing on price. That for you to be able to sell more, you have to sell your chai and mandazi at a lower price than the next person. If it is your garage, if you want this person to bring their car for service at your garage, you have to charge less than the person next door. If it is eggs, for someone to buy a crate from you, you have to charge 50 shillings lower than the next person. So you're now competing on, but look at the arrow. This is what we're saying, everything that goes up now. Because how far or for how long can you sustain your business on the low prices? It becomes difficult. So I want us to think now this way, that when we are searching for an idea, we change it to searching for a problem with many people. And we should add, don't know whether the spelling is correctly, repeatedly. That what business shall I start? It's a business where I am solving a problem, and I'm solving it for many people, and I'm doing it repeatedly. There's a time we did a research. We are asking people in the street, what kind of a business? The same question that I've asked you. And the common things that people said were boutiques, wines and spirits, cereals, hotels like this one, mtumba, barbers, salons, etc. And the second reason people answered why, it's because they were passionate about that. No one looked at whether they were solving a problem. And if they were solving a problem, for how many people? If you solve a problem for one person, and that's why we said the reason why we are also trying to move from employment to business is because when you're employed, even at 100,000 shillings, you're solving a problem for how many people? For one employer. So your value will not go beyond that. So the energy and the time that you're exchanging will not go beyond that. So now let's start thinking. What problems, yes?
I have a question. Now, it is true we are going to solve a problem which is actually the best. Mm-hmm. But how do you solve a problem of something that you don't like? You find the problem, but it's not something you like. It's like, for example, I see a problem with drainage, but I don't like drainage. Like
don't open these of it.
But there is a real problem, and I know a solution. What do you do?
Actually, one of the examples that I was going to give for a good business opportunity is garbage collection, because no one wants to stay with garbage in their house, isn't it? And it's easier. This is what we'd call a low value, high quantity kind of problem, whereby you're charging a person 20 shillings per week, but you have 10,000 houses or places you're collecting garbage. That's why you see in the Nairobi City Council they have fights over who will collect the garbage. So now the question that you brought is an emotional perspective. Like, but I'll also ask you this question. Do you like poverty? No, because if you have the power to choose what to do, then you should have the ability to accept the consequences of that choice. Isn't it? The choice that I'll not do this then means I'll not have this. And if I'm not having this, then a GLE will cost me a lifetime. So basically, I think we should also discuss that. Let me not be the final answer to that. What happens when there is a problem? There is a real problem to be solved, but you don't like it. One of the best examples is this, garbage collection. So watu wengi wanapenda uchafu. Especially now, if you talk about, like uchafu ya hospitali, someone is going to collect that uchafu from hospitals, or uchafu ya, just even the normal household uchafu. But it's a problem. It has money. People have the ability to pay. You're creating value to me if you come and collect my garbage every week. But haupendi. So how do we solve the problem of like that? Kuna shida lakini siipendi, sipendi hiyo shida. Because if we do things because of passion, that's why every day businesses are collapsing. Because people started them out of passion. They wanted to do things they like doing, but they were not solving problems. Like right now, let me give you a good example. Designers, watu wenye wanapenda kushona, kuweka, those nice things. You want to start a business, a design business, where I come for a custom trouser, a custom shirt, a custom t-shirt. Yet, Gikomba, I can get the same thing at 1/10 of your price. So I have a passion, and it's something I like. But hakuna shida na solve. The same way, murderers are bad, right? Or anyone who does crime ni mbaya, sindio? But why do lawyers like criminals? Yeah? There is a problem, isn't it, that needs to be solved, that will lead to income. So the more the criminals, the happy the lawyer.
What if you find...
So you can't go to study law and you hate crime. You have to like what you're going to deal with so that you can make money. The same way you can't be a good doctor if ukiona mtu ni mgonjwa unamhurumia. You can't even go to pray and say, please God heal people. You tell God, please heal people through me. So how do you solve this problem? You ask that question. Give us the solution. How do you solve your film? How do you become a millionaire? What problem will you solve? What kind of quality will it be? How many people will want to solve? Because remember, this is maths do not lie. That the value you are creating or the income has a formula. How much you are charging and how many people you're charging. So you'd rather start thinking now of how to start a garbage collection, even when you don't have a passion for that.
What about when you talk about partnership? If I don't like garbage collection, what if I partner with somebody else who can do the same thing, and then I pay them later, or we cut a half on the income?
No, so that's a good point. That she now, instead of using her energy and time, she uses other people's time and energy to do the business. So that is actually good. But remember, getting the idea is a fifth of whether the idea will succeed or not. It doesn't mean that since now we have decided that garbage collection is the business we are going to do, that it is going to succeed. Right? But I also wanted us to do this. Yeah? The normal things that don't have money actually right now, the kiosks, the hotels, the kinyozis, all those things that people start and then they just create competition, they compete on prices and then they fall down. How can we run them differently so that even if we are not solving a common or a popular problem, we are creating value to the customer and we're getting incomes? I want you to remember, we talked about leverage. You remember that?
Yes.
And we divided it into 3. And we said that capital and labor, that is capital, money and humans, to use other people's money, you can't be a starter. Like, to be able to get a loan from a bank, you have to have collateral or something, isn't it? So starting a business with other people's money might be a problem. The same way, to use other people's labor, you have to have an income to be able to pay them, isn't it? So the building part, remember we said we start and then we build. That is why we cannot be able to use these 2 types of leverage. But when you're starting, we have this free and permissible. Like, you don't need permission to use technology. You don't need anyone's permission to get audience from media, social media, YouTube, all that, isn't it? And you also don't need permission to get expertise, because that is you, that is what is within you. So how can we use these 3, expertise, audience or media, and technology, to make these common businesses have some value that the customer is willing to pay us for? Like, let me give you a small example. When I was a bachelor, the worst thing was washing dishes and cleaning clothes. And there was always that issue of calling a mamafua on Saturday to do that work, isn't it? Yes. And no, mamafua is just an ordinary person who is hustling. So hata utampigia Saturday zingine upate simu yake iliharibika, so you can't get them. Or she or whatever has traveled to up country, or ameitwa mahali ingine already. But now, what if I am the mamafua, or in this case, the babafua? How would I run the same business differently to to be able to get money from it using leverage.
So according to my point of thinking, I can say you can hire more people to help you run the business.
Okay.
Then
But
you have a platform on social media where you can advertise.
so okay, so you've come here to the hiring, but I wanted us to use what is freely available, like social media. Yes, so you can advertise your services on social media. Like you can have. Remember when we were starting our consultancy businesses, we said the first thing is at least make it formal, register in eCitizen, so you have a name. So I have Babafua services, isn't it? So what do? I create a very good profile on social media. I create the problem. I paint the problem to the people, isn't it? I ask, are you inconvenienced by your laundry during weekends? You need to relax during weekends, but now you have to stress looking for a mamafua or a babafua, isn't it? You have to stress waiting in the house for them to finish so that you can start your weekend. And you have to be back early on Saturday so that you can get your clothes from the clothesline before it starts raining or someone else takes it, isn't it? You see, that is a problem that you didn't actually see first. At this bachelor, on Saturday, anataka either alale ama aende out na marafiki zake, sindio? But wewe unamwambia as the normal mamafua, nitakuja kwako nikufulie, nikuanikie, unilipe, tumalizane. So it means as the bachelor, I have to sit there in the house waiting for mamafua to finish. I go out with the people I'm going out with or whatever function, but every time I'll be taking the watch, goes in isn't it? And then on Sunday, instead of relaxing, nitakuwa nikipiga pasi, goes the whole week. If I create that picture on my social media that I am solving a problem that you do not be inconvenienced and you do not waste time thinking about other things, that I will come on Saturday morning, collect your clothes, and then I'll bring them on Sunday evening, cleaned, ironed, folded. Nitapata watu wangapi wanataka hiyo services? Si wamefua watakosa kazi. But it's this normal business, but I've created a problem that people didn't know they had, but they needed to know that they had, isn't it?
Yes.
Even on Saturday you want to relax. So I am creating an opportunity for you to do the relaxing so that I can do the work. So I get 20 bachelors and each pays me, let's say 2,000 or 3,000 shillings. So every weekend I have 60,000. Now with that money, I can start looking for people to help me. I can expand to other estates. So utaonanga tu wala mamafua wanakaanga mahali wakingoja waitwe, hawana kakitu, but mimi ni babafua, nafanya kazi kama yao, but I'm making money. So that's the kind of transformation I want us to have. That whatever passion you have, whatever business you're thinking of, can you now rethink it in terms of what problems you can solve? Okay. There was also another example, kama ya salon. Like, right now there are so many salons, isn't it? Na barber shops and all that. But do you realize most of them open from 8 to around 5? Ikienda sana 6 ama 7, ndio?
Yes.
But then the person who really requires this salon and nail services is the corporate woman who leaves office at 6. So yeye ametoka kwa ofisi, amepata salon zote zimefungwa. So lazima aende ang'ang'anie na watu wengine kwa line weekend. But what if your services start from 6 to midnight?
To get more people.
Ati mama wote wenye wanafanya kazi wanajua hata nikitoka job niende nikunywe coffee, niende kwa salon saa 3, I'll be attended to. Since they don't have to do that every day, but at least they'll sacrifice that one day instead of sacrificing the whole weekend kungoja kwa laini ndio watengenezwe kucha na nywele. So what are you doing? You're just solving a different problem from the one that everyone else is solving. So your assignment is whatever you're thinking of, your garage, your farming, your fast food, your studio, your film, your production. Now think of a problem that you'll solve uniquely, and people will come to you. Now, after you search the business idea, so now we have changed the thinking from idea to problem. We go to the second point. I call it train in the trenches and in tech. Training in the trenches and in the tech. So if you go back to this board here we think the second T is for train, and we have a situation whereby we ask the question, is the training complete? If the training is complete, that is when now you go to the third step to start the business, right? But again, it also says, if the training is not complete, what do? You go back to training or you go back to business idea. Look at it this way. You might want to do the garbage collection business, right? And if you get the idea and then you go directly to starting, what will happen? You don't know where to source the materials, the paper bags for garbage collection. You don't know where to dump the garbage that you have collected. You don't know where to get the licensing. Because I hear, especially in some estates in Nairobi, there is organized, I don't want to call them gangs, but they are organized people who collect garbage up to a certain boundary. Ukipatikana umevuka hii side, itakuwa vita. So wewe umepata idea, umeenda directly, tunakupata umepigwa kwa mtaro, hatujui ni nini, kumbe you jumped one step. Or you go into that, you're very, excited about the business. You think you'll get a lot of money. But then you realize to collect garbage, you'll have to wake up at 3 a.m. Na wewe ni mtu wa kupenda kulala mpaka around 7. You realize the places you have to go to dump or to collect, zingine ni dangerous. You going through swamps and everything. You realize the smell is making you sick every day. Sindio? But what if you realize when you've already bought the equipment, you've already advertised, you've already done everything, what will happen? Because that means you'll have to give up before you even succeed. Because you jumped a very important step, which is training. So, the reason why maybe most of us are saying these things that we are saying, studio, film, fast food, garage, farming, is because probably we have a little bit of experience in them. Whether nyumbani or in employment, you've been employed in a place where this thing is happening. So, meaning, one, that is where you discover whether something is a passion or a problem. This is where now you really discover. Because umeingia kwa film production. Or you told me these are two different things. So umeingia kwa film. and it's for you a passion. So ukiingia you are blinded by the fact that naipenda. But then when you get into training, you realize, oh, kumbe there is another problem that these people have not observed. That a lot of people have passion in the film industry, but very few people have the right training to do it. So you start seeing another business opportunity. What if I start training people on how to produce this kind of films? So now you collect all the people who are passionate, you show them a new problem, and you start making income from that problem. The same way, you might not like it. Like umeingia, I'm just using this as an example. You find maybe you're thinking it is very glamorous because you're photographing models and influencers and all that. But then when you get into the mix of it, you realize, hey, there is a lot of politics involved, there is a lot of backbiting, there is a lot of, taking advantage of people, etc. And that is something that is against you. So you realize, as much as I have passion and there is a problem, stack it. And the training part helps you to, before you spend resources and time starting a business, to go back to looking for an idea. Meaning you can be in this stage for up to a year. You're training, unapata isipendi. You get out, you look for another idea, you start training again. Now, the best place to train is in employment. This is the best place to train. And we have so many examples of people who are successful in businesses that they are doing now, but those were the businesses of their employers. Like I remember a long time I used to, I don't know whether it is a phase for everyone, nilikuwa napenda kusikiza mashida za watu. And there was this program on YouTube called Tuko. I don't know whether it's still there. And there's this lady called Gogi, and she used to sit with someone, then that someone tells her there used to be sob stories. I don't know whether you've listened to those. And watu wanapenda story kama hizo. Kusikia mashida za watu. They like those kind of stories. So this lady, Lynn Gogi. So I used to watch her. I used to like how she was interviewing people. I used to like how she was getting emotional with people. Then one day, aka disappear. Like I used to go to Tuko, but find there is another person doing the interviewing. Kashindwa kwani? What happened? Kumbe ameenda akaanzisha channel yake. The same setup where you bring a guest, you talk about their problems, you cry together, you get views. So she trained in the trenches. The employer was paying her salary plus training. The same way, I think I've given that example before of this lady called Damawa Mobiles. Yeah? Yes. She has given her story on YouTube too. And it was very clear. She explained that she was employed by this person. This person trusted her. She used to send her to the suppliers to get the mobile phone parts. She was taught how to do the clearing, to get customers, to do the distribution, everything. So when she quit, what did she do? She started the business. But how many people have started YouTube channels and failed? How many people have started mobile phone repair shops and failed? Why? Because they think they know. Hakuna kitu mbaya kama kutojua kenye haujui. You should know what you don't know. But a lot of people don't know that they don't know that they don't know. And that results to failure. The second, so training in the trenches. So meaning, even if you're not employed, this is the best advice I give. If you want to start a business like the garage, go offer yourself as an apprentice, a volunteer, for even 6 months. If you want to start the fast food, hata kama utapatiwa job ya waiter, go offer yourself to be an apprentice. I mean, it is easier for people to give you like nakuja, what is it called? Nakuja attachment, badala ya kukupatia kazi, si ndio? And you realize the real world requires real experience. Because if education alone was enough, why do employers require working experience? If it is possible that umetoka graduation na umeingia kazi, but wanataka graduate, you have real working experience, then ndio wakuemploy. So why do you think in business then it is possible to start and succeed without training? Now the problem comes here that if you don't use other people's resources to get your training, and in this case the employer, you will use your resources as the training. Your business failures will be your training, because watu wenye wanaanguka kwa biashara, it serves them as a lesson, isn't it? But it is a lesson that they could have learned elsewhere. Like watu wenye there was a time I don't know whether I've given this story before, COVID time, and we were trying to look for ways to make money, and one of the suggestions that was brought was we go to the shambas, to the farmers, we buy cabbage, then we take it to Kitui, Ukambani. Yeah. So I think one of the things that made me hate farming was cabbage moja tulikuwa tunauziwa 3 bob ama 4 bob by the farmer. So for a whole shamba you give the farmer about 10,000 shillings. Yet he has spent 3 months on, doing all that work. So nikaona hiyo kazi si mzuri. But then remember, here I am a beginner in this. So spending the money is always not a problem. Unapatiana ya lori, unapatiana ya boga, unaweka mafuta, you go to Kitui. Now when you go to the market, no one tells you these things, but before you get to every county and you're carrying a product, like an agricultural product, you have to pay cess. So before you come from Nyandaro all the way to Kitui, you'll have passed about 4 counties. At kila point, you have to pay a certain amount. No one tells you that before you enter the market, so that you can put your lorry and start selling, you have to pay brokers for that market. And it was a lot of money, I think 5,000 shillings. And they give you a place, then you start selling your cabbage. But what I realized after the first day and selling less than 100 cabbages is that watu wenye walikuwa wanajua soko, they brought their lorries to brokers who are already known in the market. Yani mimi nakuja na lori yangu najaribu kujiuzia, but this other guy came with his 2 or 3 lorries. Already he has established brokers who are known by the customers, anawapatia wauze. So wao wamemaliza lori 3, mimi sijauza 100 of them, na lori iko na about 3,000 cabbages. So at the end of that day, tulienda tu tukaziacha mahali zikulwe na ng'ombe, counted our losses and came back to reality. So But if I had maybe taken time, not even, to go with someone who is just selling, just learn on the job, not on the theory. Because when people are teaching you the theory, and tell me if this is true, this is how you do your maths. Ati, nikianza fast foods, nitakuwa nikiuza chai vikombe, you count, you estimate, ndio? Unauza mandazi, chipo, and then you start saying, expenses zangu zitakuwa, nilipe watu wawili hii pesa, sijui nitoe ya rent, nitoe ya stima, nibaki na hii. Lakini hiyo theory yote, when it comes to reality, it becomes zero. There are some things you can't learn unless you're in the trenches. Trenches, this means ni kama kwa war. You can't learn war theory kwa classroom. Lazima uende kwa field huko, uingie kwa trenches, ndio learn. So the second point is very important, train. But I want us to add also this point, that as much as you're training physically, right now the current business world is being driven by technology. Right now, if you don't understand AI, ni kama mtu wa 19 or early 2000s mwenye hajaiguza computer. And the revolution will be so rapid, so fast, that by the time you're trying to catch up, watoto tunaita Gen Zs watakuwa already wamekuwa kama millionaires and everything. Sisi wazee tunajaribu ku catch up. Tech is very important, and I was looking at it this way. We have a lot of content creators. You know, content creation is also a business, right? But is it a business that makes money? Do these content creators make money?
Yes, they do.
So I get some. No. Like, do you think my favorite comedian makes money?
It depends.
He does comedy on TikTok, makes me laugh, I leave a like.
Just that.
And then just that.
Right.
But he has many views. Every video 20,000, 30,000. Sometimes some of them go viral. You won't tell me all that is for nothing?
We get a minimal, very. It's not.
Usually,
so little.
views, the numbers of views doesn't equate to the amount of money you're getting. There are people who will just maybe view that video, laugh in the moment, maybe get a lot.
Like me. Yeah. I view that video, I laugh, and move on. But then, how do we talk to these people? Like, there is an opportunity where they only see fun. Because most of us, or people who are in content creation, they use metrics, they use likes to measure their popularity, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Like, if you have many likes, unaambiwa umeenda viral or something, isn't it? But it doesn't translate to money in their pocket. In fact, if it ever does translate, is when this content creator has one brand that wants promotion. Like, mtu anauza mashamba na kuja na kwambia, I want you to advertise for me my plots, I'll give you this amount of money, isn't it? Or someone is selling unga, sees that your content is engaging. He tells you what, advertise for me this unga. But what you're doing, you're basically at the low level of income, because as much as you have some value here, the number of people that are giving you that value is very small. Yet, you're telling me you have 20,000 views on a video. So, what do you think? Because I don't think now you should even be calling them content creators. You should be calling them platform renters. Because they're just using that platform for fame. But they're not using it for money. What or how can we teach these people? So, I would address, or rather, like all these kids, the Gen Zs, the people creating content, the people getting those kind of likes, they're sitting on a gold mine. And the reason why they're not able to convert those metrics into value is because they lack the knowledge of using tech to advance themselves. Remember, in our model, the cheat model, tech is a free leverage, isn't it? That the moment that person makes one comedy, it's the same effort if it has one view, right? But it's also the same effort if it has 1 million views, isn't it? Like si kuna uta-act vizuri, upate 1 view. Maybe you repost the same video, you get 1 million. So did you use different efforts? No. So meaning tech has that ability, like it multiplies effort by far much. But now they multiply the views but not the income. But this is how this is what they can do to multiply their income. One, if you're a comedian, have a good niche, like stand-up comedy. The reason why I'm using this as an example is because I've seen it. Like I laugh at stand-up comedians, and in Kenya, I think we used to have stand-up comedians when there was the Churchill show. Wanakuja wanatuchekesha, then we wait for next Sunday, isn't it? But right now, there are comedians who do, what would I call it? Like they do satire for life. Kitu ina happen, alafu wanarudia hiyo kitu in a satirical way. That is the comedy, right? So meaning they don't have a niche. Hata nikitaka kuwa-employ, sijui nitawa-employ wanifanyie nini. Juu, it means they only come up with content if there is a satirical thing too. But if you have a stand-up comedian, this is what I would do. I would you tell me whether this is a tactic that can work. I would post, okay, of course it has to be funny content. I should have said engaging. Like if I have a joke, si nitaisema, I make sure it is very funny, right? But it's a snippet of what I can do. Like I have 5 jokes, but I'll only post 1. Then I tell them that for a 10-minute free stand-up show, do what? Click on the link. So what am I trying to do? I have given them a taste of what I can do. Since you've liked my 1-minute stand-up comedy, so you would want to see what I can do in 10 minutes. Yes. But since I can't show you what I can do in 10 minutes on TikTok, I lead you somewhere else, and we call this a landing page. So now when you go to my landing page, you have more content of what I can do. But then, this is what we call an ethical bribe. Ethical, like, ni bribe, lakini si mbaya. Why? Because I want in exchange for this free stand-up show for 10 minutes, I want you to sign in. And signing in means what? You're giving me your email and telephone number and location. Now, this is what has changed. I was posting content that is engaging on this is what I called it rented platform. Because as much as TikTok ni free, si yako. Sindio? You can't, hata ukiblokiwa, you can't unblock yourself. Si yako. But So meaning all these 1 million views, 1 billion views, at the end of the day, zitabaki kwa platform si zako. But when I have given you, this is what we call a lead magnet. Like I've given you a situation where I can solve a bigger problem for you. Unataka kucheka, twende ni kuchekeshe for 10 minutes. Ukaingia. But ndio uweze kuwatch video yote, give me your email, your telephone number and your location. Now what have I done? I have converted the rented platform to a platform I own called a database. I have a database of people in Nairobi. I have a database of people in Eldoret. I have a database of people in Embu. Now, since I want to make money through my stand-up comedy, what do? I don't organize one stand-up comedy show for a whole year. I make a tour that I'll start in Nairobi, go to Nakuru, go to Kisumu, go everywhere. But then I won't rely on well-wishers to come to my show. Why? Because all along, I've been engaging these people through emails and SMSs. I have them on the database. Kila wakati mtu anakuja kuona content yangu, ana click link, ananipatia namba ya simu na email, I start talking to them. What am I doing? I'm using tech. So I'm giving you this example to show that whatever you're going to start, you can create customers before you even open the shop. And that's why you'll realize, if you check your phone, if you have subscribed with an insurance company, telecommunication company, kuna tu SMS tunakuzanga kila saa. Why? They have your database. Kama ni supermarkets, they tell you we have offers on this and this. So now imagine you are a stand-up comedian. You have 10,000 people in your database. You tell them you're going to Mombasa. So all the 2,000 people in Mombasa, you don't tell them like an announcement on public. You send SMSs to each and every one of them, inviting them at a discount to your show in Mombasa. Watu wa Kisumu naambia next week. Watu wa wapi? So what happens? You stop becoming a comedian who makes people laugh for free to a comedian who drives a GLE. Sasa. Yeah. So think of how now you can use the trenches and tech before you start your business. As always, when the chalkboard is full and the chalk is small and the cup is empty, we stop the class and we continue when you see me next time. Thank you. But I want us to add also this point, that as much as you're training physically, right now the current business world is being driven by technology. Right now, if you don't understand AI, ni kama mtu wa 19 or early 2000s mwenye hajaiguza computer. And the revolution will be so rapid, so fast, that by the time you're trying to catch up, hao watoto tunaita Gen Zs watakuwa already wamekuwa kama millionaires and everything. Sisi wazee tunajaribu ku catch up. Tech is very important, and I was looking at it this way. We have a lot of content creators. You know, content creation is also a business, right? But is it a business that makes money? Do these content creators make money? So I get some. No. Like, do you think my favorite comedian makes money?
It depends.
He does comedy on TikTok, makes me laugh, I leave a like.
Just that.
And then just that. but he has many views. Every video 20,000, 30,000. Sometimes some of them go viral. You won't tell me all that is for nothing?
We get a minimal value. It's not.
Usually, views, the numbers of views doesn't equate to the amount of money you're getting. There are people who will just maybe view that video, laugh in the moment, maybe are not.
Like me. Yeah. I view that video, I laugh, and move on. But then, how do we talk to these people? Like, there is an opportunity where they only see fun. Because most of us, or people who are in content creation, they use metrics, they use likes to measure their popularity, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Like, if you have many likes, unaambiwa umeenda viral or something, isn't it? But it doesn't translate to money in their pocket. What or how can we teach these people? So I would address, or rather, like all these kids, the Gen Zs, the people creating content, the people getting those kind of likes, they're sitting on a gold mine. And the reason why they're not able to convert those metrics into value is because they lack the knowledge of using tech to advance themselves. Remember, in our model, the cheat model, tech is a free leverage, isn't it? That the moment that person makes one comedy, it's the same effort if it has one view, right? But it's also the same effort if it has 1 million views, isn't it? Like, si kuna uta-act vizuri, upate 1 view. Maybe you repost the same video, you get 1 million. So did you use different efforts? No. So, meaning tech has that ability, like it multiplies effort by far much. But now, they multiply the views, but not the income. But this is how this is what they can do to multiply their income. One, if you're a comedian, have a good niche, like stand-up comedy. The reason why I'm using this as an example is because I've seen it. Like, I laugh at stand-up comedians, and in Kenya, I think we used to have stand-up comedians when there was the Churchill show. Wanakuja wanatuchekesha, then we wait for next Sunday, isn't it? But right now, there are comedians who do, what would I call it? Like, they do satire for life. Kitu ina happen, alafu wanarudia hiyo kitu in a satirical way. That is the comedy, right? So, meaning, they don't have a niche. Hata nikitaka kuwa-employ, sijui nitawa-employ wanifanyie nini. Juu? It means they only come up with content if there is a satirical thing too. But if you have a stand-up comedian, this is what I would do. I would you tell me whether this is a tactic that can work. I would post, okay, of course it has to be funny content. I should have said engaging. Then I tell them that for a 10-minute free stand-up show, do what? Click on the link. So what am I trying to do? I have given them a taste of what I can do. Since you've liked my 1-minute stand-up comedy, so you would want to see what I can do in 10 minutes. Yes. But since I can't show you what I can do in 10 minutes on TikTok, I lead you somewhere else, and we call this a landing page. So now when you go to my landing page, you have more content of what I can do. But then, this is what we call an ethical bribe. Ethical, like ni bribe lakini si mbaya. Why? Because I want for, in exchange for this free stand-up show for 10 minutes, I want you to sign in. And signing in means what? You're giving me your email and telephone number and location. Now what have I done? I have converted the rented platform to a platform I own called a database. I have a database of people in Nairobi. I have a database of people in Eldoret. I have a database of people in Embu. Now, since I want to make money through my stand-up comedy, what do? I don't organize one stand-up comedy show for a whole year. I make a tour that I'll start in Nairobi, go to Nakuru, go to Kisumu, go everywhere. But then I won't rely on well-wishers to come to my show. Why? Because all along, I've been engaging these people through emails and SMSs. I have them on the database. Kila wakati mtu anakuja kuona content yangu, ana click link, ananipatia namba ya simu na email, I start talking to them. What am I doing? I'm using tech. So I'm giving you this example to show that whatever you're going to start, you can create customers before you even open the shop.
Welcome to the unveiling of untold history documentaries, mastering classes in business management, and sparking insights through money dialogues. This is JephKafka TV, where you discover untold business histories, master the art of management, and ignite money conversations that matter.